Ecological degradation and environmental pollution. Introduction. The topic we are going to discuss about in today's section is ecological degradation and environmental pollution. Students, in the first session, we are going to deeply analyze the importance of the problems caused due to ecological degradation and environmental pollution. You may very well ask me, what is the need for us to study about the importance of environmental degradation? I would like to bring it to your notice that we always need a clear background of any issue that is concerning us and bring a wise solution from the knowledge we have about the issue. Same is the case here. To study about the problem caused due to ecological degradation, we must analyze how important our ecology is to us. If we are to study the problems caused due to the factors such as ecological degradation and pollution in environment, it is obvious that we need to study the concept of ecological degradation, pollution, and the significance of the healthy environment. Pollution matters because it harms the environment on which people depend. The environment is not something distant and separate from our lives. It's not a pretty shoreline hundreds of miles from our homes or wilderness landscape that we see only on TV. The environment is everything that surrounds us, that gives us life and health. Destroying the environment ultimately reduces the quality of our own lives, and that, most selfishly, is why pollution should matter to all of us. In the following topics, we will learn about pollution on the three critical abiotic components, that is, the non-living yet crucial component of an ecosystem. We'll also study the causes and effects of each one of them and solutions to mitigate pollution by pinpointing the role of each section of public. Significance of the problem. Hello students, we are now going to learn the importance of being concerned about the problems caused due to the ecological degradation and environmental pollution. Before we get into the actual topic, I would like you to recollect the meaning of the terms ecology, ecosystem, ecological degradation, pollution from your school time memories. If you could remember, the four terms I just now mentioned are an integral part of our lives. We live in an ecosystem. Technically, ecosystem can be defined as community of living organisms and non-living components such as land, air, water of their environments interacting and interdependent on each other. Ecology is a term that relates to the study of ecosystem. So can any one of you tell me what ecological degradation means? From the term itself, we can say ecological degradation is the deterioration in the quality of environment we live in. And we can say degradation is mainly due to the introduction of contaminants into the natural environment. The phenomenon of contaminating the environment is called pollution. For example, in an ecosystem, all living organisms need oxygen to respire. Oxygen is formed by a process called photosynthesis in plants. When we pollute the non-living components of the ecosystem, such as land or water, the plant cannot produce oxygen. This in turn affects other living organisms that depends on plants. Having learned that even a small change in the environment can alter, don't you want to know how much of an impact ecological degradation and environmental pollution could have on us? I would like to explain this with a story of a boy who was a very good painter. He made a very big painting on a scene. There were big mountains covered with trees. From one of the mountains flowed a beautiful river. Indeed, it was a beautiful painting. The boy had a little brother. He also wanted to try his hand at painting. As soon as he got the chance, he picked up the brush and painted the mountain black. the sparkling blue-white river becoming brown, and with just one stroke of his brush, the flowers, trees, and butterflies disappeared. It would require a lot of time and effort to paint another picture. Something very similar is happening in our lives, students. How many of us have looked at nature's beauty and realized how fragile it is? Just like the child's stroke of the brush, one action of ours can destroy this beauty. Even more significant is the possibility that if the environment is destroyed, the effect may be fatal for many species. Hence, a clean environment takes the priority than buying an expensive car or gathering for a campfire. The three critical pollutions: air, water, soil. In this session, we are going to learn about pollution on three crucial components of ecosystem. Don't you want to know what all they are? Air pollution, water pollution, and soil land pollution. To start with, let us study about air pollution. Air pollution is the introduction of substances into the atmosphere that cause discomfort or damage to living organisms such as food crops, natural environment, or built environment. A substance in the air that can be adverse to humans and the environment is known as an air pollutant. Pollutants can be in the form of solid particles, liquid droplets, or gases, natural or man-made. Pollutants can be classified as primary or secondary. Some pollutants may be both primary and secondary. Indoor air quality, IAQ. If you live in a city, you might think your home is the cleanest place you can be. But you're probably wrong. Inside, your home is packed with all kinds of chemicals that generate pollution every time you use them. Some of the pollutants are detergents and household cleaners, aerosol sprays, shoe polish, air wax, paints, and glues. If you have a gas or oil-fired boiler or a coal or a wood-fired stove and it's not properly ventilated, toxic carbon monoxide gas is produced. Even your shower curtains could be releasing VOCs if it's made from a type of plastic called PVC. The next type of pollution we are going to study about is water pollution. Can you tell me what is meant by water pollution? Water pollution means one or more substances that have built up in water to such an extent that they cause problems for animals or people. Mobile water bodies can naturally clean up a certain amount of pollution by dispersing it harmlessly. If you poured a cup of black ink into a river, the ink would quickly disappear. However, if you poured gallons of ink into the river would quickly turn into black. The chemicals in the ink would pollute the river. Thus, water pollution is all about quantities. Surface waters and groundwater are the two types of water resources that pollution affects. We will see more about water pollution in the following few sessions. The next topic of concern is land pollution. Do you know what is land pollution? Land pollution is nothing but another term for soil contamination. For example, by factory chemicals or sewage and other waste water, land pollution is considered the most dangerous. Can you tell me why? Only about a third of Earth's surface is covered by land, and there are now over 7 billion people trying to survive here. Most of our fossil fuels are buried underground. Much of our food is grown on land. In short, our lives are as intimately tied to the surface of Earth as the plants that grow from the ground. Anything that degrades, damages, or destroys the land ultimately has an impact on human life by threatening our very ability to survive. With this small area of land to survive, contamination is a problem, right? In this unit, we'll define it more widely to include garbage and industrial waste, agricultural pesticides and fertilizers impacts from mining and other forms of industry. Causes of ecological degradation and environmental pollution. When we say pollution, we know that it is created due to many factors. Don't you want to know what the factors are? First, we will see what are the causes of air pollution. Smokestacks of power plants, factories and waste, incinerators, as well as furnaces and other types of fuel burning heating devices. Traditional biomass burning, motor vehicle, marine vessels, aircraft, etc. Chemical dusts and controlled burn practices in agriculture and forestry management. Fumes from paint, hairspray, varnish, aerosol sprays and other solvents. Military utility such as nuclear weapons, toxic gases, germ warfare and rocketry are few man-made pollution factors. Natural sources. Dust from natural sources, usually large areas of land with no vegetation. Methane emitted by the digestion of food by animals. Radon gas from radioactive decay within the Earth's crust. Smoke and carbon monoxide from burning. Volcanic activity which produce sulfur, chlorine and ash particulates. Moving on to water pollution. Most water pollution doesn't begin in water itself. Take the oceans. Around 80% of ocean pollution enters our seas from the land. When farmers fertilize the fields, the chemicals are gradually washed by rain into the groundwater or surface waters nearby. Sometimes chemicals released by chimneys can enter the atmosphere and then fall back to earth as rain entering water bodies. Water pollution has many different causes and we are going to discuss some of them for the next few minutes. Wastewater. Each year, the world generates 400 billion tons of industrial waste, much of which is pumped untreated into rivers and other waterways as point sources. Even detergent used in washing machines and dishwashers eventually end up in our rivers and oceans as non-point sources. Radioactive wastes. The biggest sources of radioactive pollution is from nuclear power plants which discharge radioactive wastewater into the sea, which ocean currents then carry around the world. Oil pollution. Minute leakage in oil tankers can produce oil slicks that seal the exposure of the ocean surface from the atmosphere above it. This reduces the dissolved oxygen content in water, thereby killing all creatures beneath the oil spill. Plastics. Most plastics are not biodegradable, hence they survive in the marine environment for a long time. While plastics are not toxic in quite the same way as poisonous chemicals, they do present a major hazard to marine creatures. Plastic fishing lines can strangle or choke fish. These are the most common forms of pollution, but by no means the only ones. The other reasons for pollution could be thermal pollution from factories and power plants. By raising the temperature, it reduces the amount of oxygen dissolved in the water, thus also reducing the level of aquatic life that the river can support. Next, we will see the different causes of land degradation and pollution. We will discuss the cause each one by one. Waste disposal. Waste is produced everywhere, even the most sophisticated waste processing plants, which use plasma torches to turn waste into gas, produce solid waste products that have to be disposed of somehow. Mining. Surface mining requires the removal of topsoil to get at a valuable rocks below. Even if the destruction of topsoil is the worst that happens, it can turn a productive landscape into a barren one, which is a kind of pollution. Urbanization. One of the problems of urbanization is that by concentrating people, it concentrates their waste products at the same time. So, for example, crudely disposing of sewage from a big city automatically creates water or land pollution. Concentration is always a key factor when we talk about pollution. Agricultural chemicals, most pesticides are poisons and many remain in the soil or accumulate there for years. Effect of ecological degradation and environmental pollution. As we have already discussed, ecological degradation and environmental pollution are two closely linked terms. Both these phenomena go hand in hand as each one is accompanied by the other. Till now, we studied the causes of ecological degradation due to different types of pollution. Come, let us study the effects of these in this session. We shall study the effects of air pollution now. Air pollution is emerging as a risk factor for stroke and cardiovascular health. People near and around particulates air pollution had an increased risk of pulmonary exacerbations and decrease in lung function. Exposure to PM 2.5 was also associated with an increased risk of mortality from lung cancer. Air pollution can seriously affect the growth of plants. Other effects: when you wander the streets of a big city, and you'll notice quite quickly how dirty and buildings look, even in areas where there are no factories or power plants. Exhaust fumes from traffic are generally to blame. Apart from blackening buildings with soot, they also contribute to acid rain. We could consider the blackening of Taj Mahal as a very good example for this case. These are new effects of air pollution. Next, we'll have a look at the various effects of water pollution. Water pollution is a necessary evil that we must put up with if we want to make progress. Fortunately, not everyone agrees with this view. One reason people have woken up to the problem of pollution is that pollution brings costs of its own that undermine any economic benefits that come about by polluting. Take oil spills for example. They can happen if tankers are too poorly built to survive accidents at sea. But the economic benefit of compromising on tanker quality brings an economic cost when an oil spill occurs. The oil can wash up on nearby beaches, devastate the ecosystem, and can severely affect tourism. Sewage is another good example of how pollution can affect us all. Sewage discharged into coastal waters can wash up on beaches and causes a health hazard. People who bathe or surf in this water can fall ill if they swallow polluted water. It can poison shellfish that grow near the shore. People who eat poison shellfish risk suffering from an acute illness called paralytic shellfish poisoning. These are not the only effects of water pollution. Although there are many effects of contaminated water, ultimately the result is ill health and discrepancies in living. Now, let us move on to the effects of pollution on land. With the right atmospheric condition, air and water pollution disperse and disappear. What makes land pollution such a problem is that land pollution stays exactly where it is until and unless someone cleans it up. As we have already seen, plastics take hundreds of years to disappear, while radiation can contaminate land for 10 times longer. The simplest effect of land pollution is that it takes land out of circulation. The more land we use up, the less we have remaining. The biggest problem comes when contaminated land is returned to us, either as building or agricultural land. Houses might be built on brownfield sites or former industrial sites that haven't been cleaned up properly, putting future owners at risk. Or people might get their water from rivers supplied by groundwater contaminated by landfill sites, mine workings, or otherwise polluted land some distance away. Illness such as cancer develop over years or decades for a variety of reasons, and it's extremely difficult to prove that they have been caused by something like local environmental pollution, especially when people move homes during their lifetime. Responsibilities of various stakeholders, individuals, government, NGO, rapid urbanization, industrialization, growing population of vehicles, generating sales, and resuspension of dusts are the main reasons of air pollution in cities. Air pollution can be massively reduced by encouraging people to use CNG in vehicles instead of petrol. The government has taken the following measures to control air pollution in major cities. First, notification of emission standards for various categories of industries. Second, formulation of action plan for improvement of ambient air quality. Third, introduction of cleaner fuel for control of vehicular pollution. Fourth, enforcement of pollution under control certificate system. Fifth, implementation of stringent emissions norms for generator sets. Sixth, use of blended coal for coal-based thermal power plant so as to reduce dust emissions. 7. Monitoring of air polluting industries for compliance with notified emission norms. Water pollution. It is likely to be seen that there is no easy way to solve water pollution. If there were, it wouldn't be so much of a problem. Broadly speaking, there are 3 different things that can help to tackle the problem: education, the economics, and they work together as a team. Let us have a look at all of them. Making people aware of the problem is the first step to solving it. People who have gone tired of walking the world's polluted beaches often band together to organize community bleach cleansing sessions. One of the biggest problems with water pollution is its transboundary nature. Pollution discharged by factories in one country with poor environmental standards can cause problems in neighboring nations. Many environmentalists have come together to coin a term called polluters pay principle. This means that whoever causes pollution should have to pay to clean it up, one way or other. For example, shoppers should have to pay for their plastic grocery bags, and is now common in many supermarkets and retail outlets to encourage recycling and minimize wastes. Factories that use rivers must have their water inlet pipes downstream of their effluent outflow pipes. So, if they cause pollution, they themselves are the first people to suffer. Ultimately, the polluter pays principle is designed to deter people from polluting by making it less expensive for them to behave in an environmentally responsible way. Land pollution. What kind of solution should one expect to mitigate land pollution? Ideally, we'd look at every aspect of land pollution in turn and try to find a way of either stopping it or reducing it. Recycling can reduce the need for sending waste to landfills and also reduces the need for incineration, which can produce fly ash, which is a toxic airborne dust. Recycling of old materials can reduce our need for new mines. International efforts such as the United Nations conventions to combat desertifications are helping to focus attention on major problems like soil erosion. We also need to clean up the many contaminated nuclear sites that already exist. The relatively very form of waste disposal called plasma gasification makes it possible to mine former landfills, converting the old waste into an energy-rich gas and a relatively safe solid waste that can be used as a building material. Bioremediation is another very promising land cleaning technology in which microbes of various kinds eat and digest waste and turn it into safer end products. Phytoremediation is a similar concept but involves using plants such as willow trees to pull contaminants from the soil. All these things offer hope for a better future, a future where we value the environment more, damage the land less, and realize finally that Earth itself is a limited and precious resource. Conclusion. In the first section, we analyze the importance of being concerned about the problems, ecological degradation and environmental pollution. We saw how destructive humans could be and examples of irreversible human destruction. Then we learned about air pollution, pollutants, classification of pollutants, and about indoor air quality. Next, we discussed the definition of water pollution, various sources of water, and water pollution. Finally, we learned about soil contamination and the necessity to prevent soil pollution than any other pollution. In the next session, we learn the causes of pollution on air, water and land. In the fourth section, we analyze the effects of pollution on different factors. We started off with air pollution and its effects on human health, its effects on plants, and also the phenomena acid rain. Then we moved on to analyze the effects of water pollution on human health. Finally, we studied the effects of land contamination due to plastics, radioactivity, and contamination at brownfield sites. In the last section, we encountered various steps taken by government, public, and NGOs to reduce the effect of pollution. We started off with the various steps Government of India has taken to control air pollution. Then we saw the two important factors, that is education and economics, that could bring a change to the current pollution levels in water. And ultimately, we learned a few points to mitigate and prevent land pollution. Let us join our hands together to make a cleaner and greener environment. Thank you.